Hi, it's Julie from Do Business Like a Woman, and today I'm talking to you all about building your email list and, in particular, sharing three fun, free ways to build your email list and add ideal subscribers every single day. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. I have had some pain and struggle around this myself because I got really stuck on this for a while, and I'll share why that was. I discovered that I could attract clients for my OBM work, my online business manager work, fairly easily through networking and a couple of other client generating strategies that I used. So I was able to attract clients without having a particularly big email list. And of course, this was good at first because it got my business to a certain level, which was great. However, it did mean that in the first few years, I didn't focus on building my email list, meaning that after a few years, I still had a very, very small email list. And it wasn't really an area that I cracked or focused on. Now, what's funny about that is that I am in online marketing. I help clients with online marketing and online business, and I know the importance of building your email list. It's your most valuable asset in your business, and yet here I was not managing to do it for myself. Now, what was really interesting to me is that I struggled with this because first of all, I was super busy delivering client work, but also all the traditional advice that kind of list building experts tell you to do just wasn't working for me in my own business. And I was not in a place where I was willing to invest lots of money in Facebook ads and things like that, which is what some of my clients were doing. We were generating leads that way successfully, but I was not in a place where I could put a lot of money to that. So I needed to build my list for free. And I was listening to a lot of the traditional advice, like create your freebie, go ahead and put it on your website, share it on social media. So I did all this, I created the juicy freebie, I put it on my website, I shared it on social media, did all this work, and I got like maybe 3 or 4 subscribers, and then maybe 1 or 2 over the next couple of months. It just wasn't working. It was ridiculous. So this just wasn't working for me, and I knew I needed more. Now, the reason it wasn't working is because it's not that the advice is wrong. You do need to do those things, but that's just like the first step. So yes, you need to get your juicy freebie that is really irresistible to your people. And we will talk about how to make it irresistible to your people. But once you have that freebie, yes, you need to put it on your website. And yes, you can share it on social media. But if you put it on your website and you're not driving any traffic to your website at all, it's as good as useless to you because, no one is going to see it. So, yes, by all means, put it on the website. Have your website set up so that the next logical step for anyone visiting your site is to get on your email list. And my clients often underestimate the importance of this, or they're resistant to doing this. But actually, you need to set up your entire website so that it gets people onto your email list. My opt-in is right there in my header banner, right at the top. My whole site is set up to encourage people to opt in, because otherwise what you get is people visiting your site, going away, and you never see them again. If you can get them onto your email list, you can start that relationship, you can start nurturing. Now, it's important to do that rather than sending them off straight away for something to buy, because people just coming to your website, they may or may not know you. They're not ready to buy most of the time. So you will get a very, very, very low take-up rate if that's what you do. Whereas if you make it an easy yes, just to get on your email list, just to give their email and their name in return for something super valuable to them, well, that's a no-brainer and it's easy for them to do. So that is what I highly recommend that you do. But then once you've done all that, you need to also be driving consistent, regular traffic to your website. Otherwise, that opt-in doesn't do anything for you at all. So you need a reliable way to generate traffic. If you are sharing your opt-in gift on social media, again, that's good. If you share it in the right place where all your target market hang out, where all your ideal clients are, like a Facebook group, for example, you may get some leads. However, many Facebook groups don't allow that. So unless you have your own group, then you're limited there. And if you just share it on social media, on your profile or whatever, like, it's so busy on social media. This is why it didn't really work for me. People are so busy, so distracted. It's such a noisy space. There's just not, people just don't see it. You don't stand out. They don't notice. So that really is not helpful at all either. So I had to figure this out, and I had to figure a way to build my list. Now, I faffed around with this for about a year and struggled and tried different things, and nothing was working. And I was like, wow, what's wrong with me? It really bugged me, especially because I do teach client attraction and online marketing. I felt a bit of a fraud, actually. I was like, wow, why can't I figure this out? Why is this so hard? Other people are building their lists. Why can't I do it? What is wrong with me? And I really thought this, and it was a pain point for me. It was embarrassing. And I was stuck on it for about a year, kind of trying different things. And so eventually, though, I figured it out. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. And today I am able to add 2 to 3 ideal subscribers to my email list every day, people who are in my target market, people who are ideal leads for me, who I know I could help. And they come onto my email list every day with very little effort from myself. The strategy that I use is free. Actually, I now pay a VA to do it for me, but that's just a choice. I started off doing it myself. You can definitely do it yourself. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's pretty quick. So I'm going to share that with you, and then I'm going to share the other 2 list building strategies that I'm using right now that I'm also having success with. So, sound good? Let me know. Drop me a comment below. Let me know if you are struggling with this at all. Like, what's your experience? Do you have list shame like I did? Drop me a comment. Let me know. So, the first strategy and I just want to share one more thing about my story real quick. I won't make it too long. I actually had an email list before, about 6 years ago. My first iteration of my business, I grew a list of 300, which is pretty small, but I did that, and I had that email list. And when my life kind of imploded and I let go of that business, I also let go of that email list. Now, that was a huge mistake, and it's something that I don't really have regrets, but if I did, that would be something that I regret, because that was really valuable, and I let it go, and then I had to start again from scratch when I relaunched. So don't ever just let your email list go. Don't let it go cold. Even if you're not, able to sell from your list right now, just trust that you will be able to. Keep building it up. Keep communicating with your people. Get in that habit. Keep the list warm, because even if it's small now, and my list is still small, relatively small, but they're super engaged, my people, because I really look after them and I send them the best content that I can and add a lot of value. So don't ever just let your email list go. Don't let it go cold. It really is a business asset. So please understand the value. I had a lot of resentment about having let that go and having to start from scratch, because I saw people who were in the same coaching training program as me, who now were had these great big email lists and were going great guns and doing 6 figures in their business. And here I was lagging way behind with this tiny little email list starting again. And I was pissed about it. I'll tell you the truth. I was annoyed. So that's the non-spiritual Julie that I'm showing you right there. But that's the truth of it. Anyway, I had to get over myself, and I had to just dig in. And as we do as entrepreneurs, business owners, we have to dig deep and we have to get on with it, right? You know what I'm talking about. So I did, and what I'm sharing with you today is what I found that's working now, because what I noticed is that what I did to build my email list before is not working in today's climate. So before, it was enough, 6 years ago, it was enough to just put your opt-in gift on social media, to have it on the website, and so on. But today, none of that was working. So what I'm going to share now is the 3 things that I found working like gold today. Number 1, this is an Instagram strategy. It's an Instagram and a Facebook group strategy, and they work together. And I actually got this from my VA, bless her heart, Catherine Alden. Thank you. This strategy came from her, and I saw the potential, and I added something to it to make it build the email list as well. And let me explain it for you. So I was able to, what we do is we go on Instagram and we follow people, leaders in the industry, you know, who are in our niche. That's the first step. And then we have a look at their followers, and we have our client avatar next to us, so we know exactly who we're targeting. We know exactly who our people are, who we're talking to, and who we're looking for. And we find those people. They're the followers of the leader in the industry. And the great thing about Instagram is you can private message people on there. So we then send them a heartfelt private message. Now, yes, it's a copy and paste, but I always tweak it a little bit depending on the person I'm talking to make it relevant to them, to make it real and genuine. And I just share with them, you know, that I have been looking on Instagram for people like them, you know. So in my case, it's heart-centered women business owners who are ready to get more clients and really grow their business. And I have this Facebook community, and I think it would be a great fit for them. And would they like to come and join, and really highlight the benefits of them coming to join my group and make that invitation? And what we're finding is that we're getting about 5 people a day joining my group. My VA used this strategy to grow her group from 0 to over 1,000 in, I think it was less than 6 months. I'm not sure, but it was in a pretty short period of time. And then what I've added to this to actually build the email list is, you know, when you have a Facebook group, which, by the way, I highly recommend because it's a great lead generation strategy for you. Having a Facebook group is a community where people can engage, you can engage with them. It's marketing needs to be a two-way conversation. It's not all about you talking to people. That's the old style of advertising, doesn't work anymore, right? So Facebook group, make sure you have one of those. You can use this strategy to grow it. But then when you have a Facebook group, you can set up questions that people have to answer before they're allowed into the group. There's 3 questions. So for me, I ask a couple of questions about what business they have, what are they struggling with that they need help with. And then the final question is, would they like access to my juicy freebie? And in my case, I have 2 that I offer. One is how to start a profitable online business you love with less hustle, because that's what my brand is all about. And then the other one is how to get clients in 3 easy steps. Now, I'm going to be honest and share with you that I think those titles could be even better. I think they could be even juicier and more compelling. So I'm going to be doing some work in my Facebook group with my target market to find out what would be an even more compelling title to them that would make them know that they want it. Like, oh yeah, that's just too irresistible. Like, give me that, Julie. So, but anyway, I'm digressing. So that's the 3rd question. And I make sure they know it's optional. Like, they don't have to give me their email address to get in the group. They can come in without. It's just not manipulation, but it's just offering them something that can be of great value to them in return for, you know, signing up to my email list. So they have the option. And I would say about 2 to 3 people say yes to that. And so they get added to my email list. And so this is how my email list has been growing every day. And I love it. That's strategy number 1. Now, I am going to be teaching this in detail in my group program, which is starting next week. The doors are closing on Saturday night this week. So, you know, heads up if you've been thinking about joining that, come join us. I will pop a link in below this to where you can actually pay for that if you are interested. And I'm going to be doing a Zoom session a bit later today, answering questions about that, like frequently asked questions about that program. But I will be teaching this strategy among other client getting strategies and marketing strategies to grow your business in the group program. And I'll be going into it in detail. So if you need more, if you have questions about this strategy, come join us in the program. It's a really small investment, really reasonable investment for what you get. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end, but let's go through the other 2 list building strategies for you. So number 2 is webinars. Now, I did my first webinar the other day and it was great. I loved it, really enjoyed it. Had some great ladies on there, gave some great value, all about getting clients. Now, excuse me, I found that the purpose of my webinar was to sell my group program, but I found that in doing this webinar, it was a great list builder. So you could viably do webinars just to build your email list, and that would be perfectly acceptable as well. Now, ideally, if you have something to sell, by all means, offer it, sell it on the webinar at the end after you've given value and you've taught and you've given something. But if you don't have anything to sell and you are building your email list anyway, which if that's you, bravo, by the way, you need to be building your list in your community. So spot on, gold star for you. But yeah, you can do it through webinars. So creating a webinar, getting people to opt in for it, make sure it's really juicy. And again, like go back to your community. I said I'd talk about how to make your free opt-in really juicy. This is how you do it. You're in constant communication with the actual real people in your target market, and you're asking them, would this thing be of value to you? Or like, what problems are you currently facing that I can help you with? And then you look at their language. So say you've asked them what problems they're having that you can help them with in your niche. And so I might say, what are the things that you're struggling with in business right now? And they will tell me. And then of those, I'm going to make a freebie about one of those things. If there's like a theme there and everyone's like, oh, list building, for example, then I will make a freebie about that. And then I will create the title for the freebie and I'll go back to them and I'll say, what do you think of this title? And this is where having the Facebook group is so powerful again, because you have those people that you can go back to and interact with. But I won't just say, do you like this title for my freebie? I'll say on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like this title, right? Because you want them to be specific. And also what you don't want to do is give them like, I don't know, 3 options like, oh, do you like this, or this title better? Because they will rate them. They'll say, oh, I like that one better. But it doesn't mean they love it, right? It doesn't mean they're like, oh, yes, I have to have that. So you're better off saying, here's the title I'm thinking of. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate it and let me know how much you love it and why. And you'll get the information you need to craft your amazing, irresistible freebie. Alrighty, so we talked about webinars. Now the third way, number 3, is JVs and spotcasts. So JVs, or joint ventures, this is where you partner up with somebody else, usually someone who has a similar size list to you or a similar size community, and they're in maybe the same niche or a complementary niche perhaps. So like I'm in the business niche. I teach women business owners how to get clients, how to market themselves authentically. Somebody else might be in the business niche, but they might help women with limiting beliefs, right? We would be ideal JV partners because our businesses complement each other without really competing. So how a JV can work, there's so many different ways it can work, but essentially you do something together. It might be an interview, it might just be a chat together, but something that will be of value to your clients, and they promote it to their email list and their community, and you promote it to your email list in your community. Now, little bonus tip here, make sure to get people to opt in for this. Because otherwise you're not building your email list, right? So tell them, we have this interview coming up. We're going to be talking about self-care in business, for example, because that's one I've got coming up with a friend of mine, Rosalie, that will be coming soon. So, ask them to opt in for it so that they are actually joining your list rather than just doing it and putting it out there in your Facebook group or whatever. Make sense? All right, we're nearly there. The other one is spotcasts. Now, this was previously known as, telesummits. But telesummits are pretty outdated. They were excellent list builders and lead generators for a long while, but the market just got oversaturated. There were so many people doing them all the time, and the problem is that they were kind of general, like women's business event. Well, at the beginning that was fine because it was a novelty and people were like, oh, what's this? Something different. All these guest expert speakers in one place for this virtual event. Yeah, I'm in, and they would opt in. But then the market got oversaturated. Perhaps you noticed it. There were all these teleseminars going on, telesummits, I should say. And, it just went past its heyday and it stopped being so effective. However, there's a way of doing it today that can really, really work. And I have to say that this is an idea I began exploring, and then I found a lady who actually teaches this, so I'm going to mention her here. Her name is Barbara Ames, and she has a program that teaches this entire strategy. But just to say, so it's like a giant kind of JV, and the way that I'm doing it is I'm interviewing 14 experts in a similar niche to mine and putting this event together. But it's going to be pretty niched. I haven't decided the topic yet, but it's going to be, rather than like women's business event, it will be something like list building, or it will be something like client attraction strategies, so there is a really focused topic to the event. It's much smaller than the big tele summits that people used to do, so it's less work. It lasts less time as well, but it can be very successful in today's market. I'm currently doing my first one, but I have a friend and business partner who has used this incredibly successfully, which is why I decided to share it with you, even though I haven't actually done this particular one yet. I've done JVs, but I haven't done the Spotcast, to be completely transparent with you. But I have got a friend who is a business coach she's a health coach, not a business coach, and this has worked great guns for her, adding a few thousand to her email list each time. So that is why I feel confident to share it with you. I will come back after I've done it and let you know the results that I get from it as well. So those are my 3 fun and free ways to grow your email list and add subscribers every day. Let me know what you think. Drop me a comment below. Let me know. I promised that I would tell you a bit more about the group program, which is starting next week. So we're nearly full. The doors are closing on Saturday at midnight. We have 4 spaces left, and I'm going to give them on a first come, first serve basis. So if you've been thinking about this, if you've been reading some of the emails, watching the videos and things, I highly encourage you to don't dilly-dally, get on it and come join us. Get off the fence and decide. I'm going to be talking later in my Q&A, frequently asked questions, about advancing entrepreneurs and the kind of decisions and mindset of an advancing entrepreneur, and that is somebody who is really going places in their business. If this is you, I think that this program will be gold for you, and it's a pilot program, so I'm offering it at a really reduced rate. It's never going to be this price again. So if you're interested, look out for that session where you can learn all more about it, because the truth is we don't do well figuring it out on our own. I know that. I dilly-dallied for 3 years trying to figure it out on myself, resisting investing and getting the support I needed because I'd been burned before, because when I invested before it wasn't the right time in my life, right? And that's not an excuse. I was literally going through a divorce and had no home. I lost my home, had a load of debt, so it really wasn't. But that kind of situation aside, the time that we have is now. It's right now. Why not do it now? Why wait? I'm so sick of women business owners putting off their dreams and hearing that they'll do it next time. You might not be alive next time. And I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but we just don't know what's coming, right? What we have is today. It's now. I'm super, super passionate about this. I really believe that we sometimes have to take the leap. And this is not a big investment. For the group program, it's £400, okay? So it's super low. It's a 3-month program. You get mentoring with me. You get masterminding. We're covering so many topics: client attraction. I'm going to wrap up now anyway, but I'm talking all about this in the session later. So I will pop a link to the checkout page in the comments below, so that if you are interested, if you do want to join us, you can go ahead and sign up. You can also ask me your questions. I will be doing that Zoom session later. Get on my email list to make sure that you can come to that. And I hope that this has been useful for you. Lots of love from me. Let me know how you get on with your list building, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.